lot more for it, honey.
A lot more.
But,
Tons more.
Yeah, we'll see where they're going to go with this. It is interesting. LegioN is running a fairly tanky team. The concern for them is going to be that they have enough damage or that they end the game quickly. So they're going to have a really nice early game advantage, or they should, with their team. Once they get their team fights going, they could be almost unstoppable. So it is actually AD Maokai.
Interesting.
He called it the cheese build. This is his cheese build rune page, and it's AD Maokai.
Interesting.
So he's going to be very tanky, but then he's also going to be able to take advantage of his ultimate and his passive, which is actually going to be brutal. So that's really curious because they're missing out on a lot of ability power, and usually you want to diversify a little bit. But a lot of people kind of look at Treeline and think that it's all about just getting big bruisers, and that there is a time when bruisers are almost unstoppable because when you have a tanky bruiser, clearly he's going to be tough to stop with a team of 3. You don't, always have enough people to take him down. But usually you want a nice mix of damage. But we'll see how, they can do. Right now, I have to say I'm favoring Orbit's team. But LegioN, they have a lot of interesting things that they can do. I mean, their team fighting potential is going to be phenomenal when they're all coordinated.
Yeah, but you get some money. If this is, indeed AD, Maokai, and Jace, if you just get all of Orb to stack some armor, it's going to be a little bit more difficult time to try and break through that, but there is a limited amount of time that LegioN can actually go and break through and just try and force out towers, force out objectives.
Or even if they kill Jace, and we saw that yesterday, how brutal that was for Curse if Mono was ever able to kill Jace because they miss out on a large source of damage because Curse had kind of a similar thing going, except that the difference is Curse, they actually had a major AP source in Katarina. Who had a lot of mobility as well. So that's going to be really interesting to see how they do. The idea behind what LegioN is doing is that they're going to have these tanky guys, and they're going to have lots of sticking power with Maokai and with Jace and Nunu. So the idea is they want to just chase down Orbit and pick up individual kills, and when Orbit tries to run, they just can't. Like, they'll be like, oh, look at this, I Arcane Shift. They're like, oh, you silly, silly boy.
How silly.
I'm going to follow it up with a Twisted Advance, and now you're going to die.
Pretty much.
But, so that's the idea. They want to be able to bully Orbit around a little bit. Orbit, their team is going to take a little bit longer to get into the strong point in the game. High, he's going to have a little bit of a build-up. He did get the cleanse. That's going to help him out a lot. He doesn't really need the Ignite. It will reduce his early and mid-game damage, but he needs to get deep into his item build in order to be successful.
I am wondering, though, how Atlanta is actually going to be building on into this, though, because it would amuse me to no end if we just see him stack just a crap load of attack speed items.
Oh, I have to imagine he's going to be going like Trinity Force.
Yeah.
Sheen
procs, of course.
I would like to see the attack speed items.
I would too.
I was actually saying who was he talking about? Which champion? He was saying his favorite build on Jace, oh, that's right, is movement speed. Getting lots of movement speed items and then use the acceleration gate. Because he said that his favorite champion is Hecarim, and damn, Pony goes fast.
I would. Yes, he did say that in the pregame chat. I've also done in Dominion attack speed Nautilus, which is just the funniest thing
with
ever.
His shield?
With the shield and the passive.
Right.
Shield and the passive. That's actually once you get the right items, is deceptively strong. And he's a semi-tanky dude to begin with if you build him correctly. But it's just also hilarious. You hook him, you root him, and then it's just, man, I've never seen someone swing an anchor that fast before. It's just funny to me.
No, I believe it. But we'll see what they can do here. Quick rundown of the map, since I think a lot of people actually, maybe they've tried Treeline, but they're not quite familiar with some of the strategy and stuff.
If you are new.
Or if they're new. So the buffs, there's the Wolf buff and the Wraith buff in the top jungle, and they actually randomly spawn. All of the camps randomly spawn whatever they're going to spawn. So that's actually, it's kind of interesting, but it also adds a random mechanic, which is kind of difficult sometimes. It kind of changes how things work. But the Wolf camp, it actually gives you attack speed and cooldown reduction if you get the Wolf camp. The Wraith camp, it gives you movement speed. So movement speed buff, how ridiculously OP is that, particularly on such a small map with great ganking paths. But you have to also consider the buffs. They have a 3-minute cooldown timer. Then you have the red buff in the center of the map. It's in the lower jungle, and it has a 4-minute cooldown timer. And the dragon at the top, it's basically a Baron buff. It is very crucial in later portions of the game. It is so unbelievably, critical to just not allow your opponent to get it, particularly early. Some junglers can get it around 5 minutes, which is just brutal. But it's a mini Baron buff. It gives you your entire team a % damage increase, and it has a 5-minute cooldown timer.
Legion now camping out here in the in the west brush here, out in the jungle. Got Niendo. Will get. Ooh, he does not see. They're in the bush. Nien doesn't see them. He doesn't know how close he is to the brunt end of a hammer. They got Gragas. He's not too far away, but Nien may actually just get caught out.
Nunu's great at chasing.
This is Ezreal cannot close the gap, and that's just wow, quick level 1, first blood, and that is the such long paths too, just to try and get the safety.
That's one of the things with tree line. If you get caught out of position, then it's a really long way to get back to safety, and that's the big strength of Nunu. And now having an early advantage in that top lane on Jace is going to be huge. Gragas, he's generally pretty safe, so we'll see how that factors in. Atlanta actually getting the mini camp here, which is actually kind of interesting for the bot lane. That'll give him a nice little advantage. He's going to be a little bit low, but he's actually leaving it behind, so we'll see if that impacts his jungler at all.
He is pinged out, though. IPLLoL can get quite a bit of damage onto him. Just one Mystic Shot, he's already down to below 200.
I think he didn't realize how strong the jungle is, and so he thought he could get an early advantage, and then was like, oh, damn. Wow, this is kind of awkward here.
It's a little rough. But Lattimorris, though, will actually be able to finish up the rest of the camp before he has to go back, if provided he doesn't die to the golem, but he should be just fine. Twisted Advance down onto high. You got the sapling to follow up, but there is no slam. Atlanta's only level 2. He cannot get the entire combo on that.
Even so, he got a little bit of health regen off of his passive, and the early experience advantage getting the level 2, it allowed him to take a quick advantage over high for that 1 second, but high is just crushing him in this lane. And Ezreal is one of the strongest laners in tree line. Same thing with Summoner's Rift. He's a really strong laner in Summoner's Rift. And Cruiser, he might actually be able to get this kill here almost. If he had actually been able to get the hammer against the wall on Lemon Nation, that would have been brutal. Lemon Nation would have been forced to flash. But even so, that lane is his advantage, and Ezreal is in complete control bot.
Atlanta now finally backs. Was he grabbing for himself just a few more potions, I believe. He also got Nunu with a green and a pink ward, and pink wards are deceptively strong here in Twisted Trio, and Vision is more everything here, even more in some, most of the other maps in League of Legends. Getting very low. A lot of Mortis don't die to that buff camp. He's having a little bit of trouble himself.
And his smite was up too. He I think he got it to within smite range and barely couldn't get it. Wow. So getting it as it's regenning. The Wolves, just like in the Summoner's Rift, they actually smite, or they crit, but actually Udyr, he's taking red buff, and that is brutal. That is really dangerous early on, but they don't have it warded. Legion doesn't. Orb has the ward, so he's got the coverage, and he knows they can have vision of both of those lanes, so having that vision is definitely huge, and that's a huge advantage. Maokai's in a really dangerous situation now.
Oh, Atlanta's hanging around that brush a little bit too much, and yet here's the thing though, that Yen
he doesn't have the bear stance.
He's also only got cloth armor too, so he doesn't actually have that extra movement speed. Atlanta, well, a little lucky there that he actually managed to get away.
And it's interesting, if he had bear stance, he would have had that Cruiser going in for the kill. One more attack, he gets out of tower range, but Udyr is coming down. He's going to try and chase him down, so we'll see if Cruiser can get out. But usually on Summoner's Rift, you'll have bear stance by level 3, but because the jungle is so difficult in tree line, he didn't get it here. And actually, the perfect hammer, wow, just barely getting out of there. He might be able to suicide or something. He is very close to escaping. I actually think he's going to make it.
Lattimorris is there to run interference on high, but actually force the flash out, shift over the wall.
Oh my god, how fed can you get this Ezreal right now? Because he gets the kill into Nunu. He's not going for the Jace.
Oh man.
If he had walked up, he's going now. They pinged him off if they can get him in time.
I'm not sure if he's... Actually, here's the thing. IPLLoL is actually very low on mana.
Oh, he didn't know where he was.
He had no idea.
Oh, man. That would have been devastating if High had gotten off to that early start.
Yeah. I mean, he's still in a really good spot, though. Yeah. He's still in a really comfortable spot.
But Jace got off to such a, was able to get out of there because the tree line jungle, it's so hard. On Summoner's Rift, you had bear by 3. High didn't have the bear, or Nian didn't have the bear. Otherwise, he would have been able to flash in for the stun.
Right.
So they both go back to the jungle. Both of the junglers are doing pretty well right now. Lattimorris is a little bit behind. Nunu, he's very good at the early clears and, quick clearing buffs, but he's actually not a very fast jungler after that. A lot of junglers, you do bruiser junglers, and like, Udyr, for example, he's going to be able to clear the jungles pretty quickly by just AoEing it. So Nunu's going to fall further and further behind from Udyr in jungle experience because he's single target and doesn't have that same bruising potential.
Not to mention the fact that Nunu's also staying in the lane quite a bit just to get minimal harass here, but allowing Udyr to just come on in. Nien grabbing the Wraith camp here, going to be getting that movement speed buff.
And you see there the difference between the two jungles. Nunu was struggling to kill the camp.
Yeah.
Udyr is a little bit more successful. But Udyr has the strength of the strong counter jungling and the really strong ganks. And that actually makes up for it, the jungling disadvantage that he has. Particularly if he gets off to a strong start, he can bully people around.
Atlanta's also not doing too bad here down in bot considering that start. He's actually keeping even on creeps. But still, the one to look at, Mortis on Nunu, he's going to be having a little bit of time catching up there in the jungle. The red buff area is still awarded, but nice pink ward. Mortis going to be clearing that out. Logical place to put down the pink, and Hai should know that the ward has been cleared, and Nunu's not too far behind. Gets the snowball, but Atlanta is hurting, but he's looking to regen. Does he have any potions left on him? No, he does not, but here comes Gragas, and the Pink Ward in mid did spot him out. So in Orb, they should have known that the Pink Ward did go down. They should know that area is warded. So maybe if Gragas went behind, came on in, but he also is not 6. He doesn't have his ult yet. He's just barely not there.
Yeah, and the mana difficulties can be an issue for someone like Gragas, but he does have the mana regen on his W, so usually he's going to be okay. Ezreal actually using the ultimate just to clear out the wave for the most part so that he can push into Maokai's tower. So he knows that Maokai's back. It's a long lane. In Summoner's Rift, it's the same kind of laning mechanic. You want to push into the tower very quickly to deny golden experience from your opponent, but because it's such a short distance from the fountain and it's such a long lane, it's actually really difficult to do that on Twisted Tree Line. So Maokai, he did go back, but he's actually going to be back in time to not miss that many CS or that many creeps.
Nien, where is he going next? Just he gives a high five to the dragon, says how you doing? Ward right out in front on that front of the brush. Is he actually gonna start on it? No, but you do actually have a nice shot from Cruiser.
Oh, Lemon Nation
Flash
very close to going down.
Mortis does discover the Udyr and the Gragas.
Jace is moving up, though. It's going to turn into a 3v2 with Maokai slightly behind.
Yeah, Atlanta, though, will get caught up by the ward, so Orbit knows that he's coming in. Cruiser, though, getting chunked out huge by all 3 members of Orbit. Does manage to get the cannon off. He gets some shots on the Gragas. Does get the shutdown. Ezreal grabbing that.
Oh, the Nunu ultimate's going to come. Oh, he's only 4.
Yeah, Nunu is only level 4. He doesn't have the strongest kit available to him at the moment. He's only got snowballs, and Atlanta does not have the damage to follow up. Does dodge the one shot, but will die to the Phoenix stance. Nien grabbing that kill. And 2 members of Orbit are here.
Oh, this is dangerous because the dragon, it deals a lot of damage. They're going to be able to kill it quickly, but Nien, he might die on this. I don't know if they're going to take it in time.
One more shot. Will he still be low?
Oh, man.
4 health. Nien gets down to, so now Ezreal going to take his turn taking this thing, but the dragon is going to be going down pretty quick. There's a smite, and that is a dragon buff for Orbit, and Gragas was actually up to grab that also.
Oh, just switching off in the nick of time. Really nice job by the 2 of them, switching, whoever's tanking that dragon. But that's a huge advantage for them. It's 3-3 right now. They have a 1K advantage, but the key thing is that Ezreal's getting ahead. And Gragas, he's not really that item dependent. He needs to get, a little bit into his build, but once he gets his ultimate and everything, he's just going to be naturally pretty strong. Ezreal is item dependent, and to be the most ahead in this game is definitely a big advantage. But they have to worry about the fact that Cruiser's also ahead, and Jace is an absolute monster on tree line.
Yeah, and Cruiser and Hai are actually staying pretty neck and neck when it comes to gold. But if you look at the remaining members of Legion, they are both actually significantly behind in terms of the average. So especially you look at Atlanta, who's actually has the least income in this entire game. It's not doing. He's not doing as good as he could be, and you see that he's actually looking for the early catalyst. I think
Udyr, he's going to smite steal Nunu. Does he get it? He actually didn't get it, but he is going in for the kill. He gets the flash. He gets the bear stance stun. The flash from Mortis trying to get out of there. And he's kind of stuck on the minions here, but he's not going to be able to get him in time. Cruiser just barely saving him. Hai not able to hit that ultimate.
He's going for the dive, though.
Oh, he's going to go down.
Under tower range. Trying to keep the turtle stance up just for a little bit extra resist, but no, one more shot. Cruiser does score the kill onto the deer as he... I'm not sure why they made that dive.
Yeah, a little overly aggressive, especially considering that Nunu is behind right now. So is it really that key to, kill Nunu? It's kind of a question you have to ask. But Cruiser's definitely in a good situation. I thought it was kind of funny a moment ago. Hyel9, he jumped over the wall. He flashed or arcane shifted over the wall to attack Jace, and he hardly nicked him. He just really didn't do anything. And Jace's presence in fights is going to be phenomenal through the mid portion of the game.
Is Nien actually rushed? No, he's rushing. He's rushing Randuin's actually. because he's got the bead, so he's going to be looking to get the Warden's Mail, which is strange because I'd imagine you should go for that Heart of Gold first. I mean, that's the first logical item you get.
If you want the gold generation, which can be really strong, and Twisted Treeline, you have increased gold, but not quite as much as. You're not anywhere near as much as you do on Dominion. It's about the same as Summoner's Rift. It might actually be the same as Summoner's Rift. I don't actually. We'll have to look at that. But the Warden's Mail, they know that they are playing against a mid-game team, and that Legion is going to be incredibly strong in the upcoming minutes. And Warden's Mail is one of the best armor items for gold efficiency to buy in the game. You get it really early. It gives you a nice amount of armor, but it also, the attack speed slow that it gives you is absolutely brutal. It can really shut down 80 carries, and right now that's mostly what they're dealing against. They're dealing against a bruiser team with a lot of physical damage, and Udyr just wants to tank, and he wants to sit up front.
You also got Nunu actually building triple Dorans. It's kind of like he's kind of doing like the Azingia Mumu build, actually just getting rings on rings on rings. But you also saw earlier Lemonation
gold efficiency
with that charge over the wall. That is why that is precisely why
Udyr and Nunu are dueling though, and Jace is going to be able to come in on him. So Nien actually has to back off, but he's kind of stuck here for a second. He does have High coming, but High misses the arcane shift. If they can get out of the Nunu ultimate, they do just in time. But the flash and actually the knockback from Cruiser, Lemonation gets the ult over the wall to try and protect him, but Nien's still in a dangerous situation. But I think he's out. The only one to chase is Loud Mortis, and Cruiser is out of mana. Lemonation trying to pick up the kill.
Charges over the wall, does not exactly hit Cruiser on the tail end with that charge over the wall.
Oh, the ignite on Jace is very, very close. Ezreal does have his ultimate. If he gets it, he does not.
Oh, close. Barrel out there just for a little bit extra damage, making Atlanta go the long way around it. There is the acceleration gate to give him a little bit more clearness, but Loud Mortis will actually be able to back safely in the side brush outside of the lane. Meanwhile, you also look at Nien, who's still looking to try and pick up a few camps before he is forced to back. He needs a little bit extra gold. He needs to try and finish up that Warden's Mail. It's not on his next back, he'll be able to get it no problem. He just wants to make sure that he can get a little bit more gold, a little bit more experience before he actually decides to head back.
Yeah, they need to get back quickly because the Dragon is going to be spawning shortly, so both teams are going to want to be ready for that. We'll see if they drop a pink ward over there so that they can try and take control of that again. That would really help Orb in this situation. But they're 2K ahead, so Legion, they need to look for opportunities to push their advantage, which really means just having strong fights. So pressuring the Dragon would be very nice. But they need to not get caught out of position. They're kind of chasing a little bit too aggressively. They're pulling themselves out of position, trying to get kills. And as a result, Orb is allowed to be a little bit more reflexive. They're actually kiting them pretty effectively.
Atlanta actually decided to go for the phase first, and that was actually a red steal coming in from Nien. Very well timed.
But his smite is down for this Dragon, which is up, and Legion is going to be going for it.
You got Atlanta, he's on the tail end here, going to be trailing the rest of the pack, but Latimore's out there in front, going to be starting the Dragon with the Snowball. But Lemonation does discover that something is up. Barrel hitting all three members of Legion. Yen following up, grabbing the camp, now joining the fight. High 9 is very low on mana, too.
Loud Mortis was absolutely destroyed trying to go in for that. Yeah. So he's very low. It is basically a 2v3, and they're at a really serious disadvantage. And actually, Lemonation, he pulled the Wolves, so it blocked his behind as Jace was trying to chase into him.
Lemonation out in front, does throw down the ult, and that is a quick 2 kills. Maokai and Nunu both down. Just a few quick strikes, and that is a double kill for High, and that is a very quick ace right out in front of the Dragon Pit, and now Orbit will be able to securely grab this Dragon. High is taken for the time being, but he is very low, needs to double on back. All three members of Orbit now back with the Dragon buff once again, gonna go back, buy something nice, quite a bit of money on High too. What is he gonna be picking up? Finish off the Sheen, getting very close to his halfway towards the Zeal. Also, that Trinity Force is just not too far away.
Yeah, and Orb is doing a great job with this game. Gragas in particular is winning them these fights, even though Ezreal is picking up all the kills. Ezreal, he's definitely done a nice job. He's able to keep out of their damage range. But because Legion is grouping up, because they have this melee team, they're walking right into all the barrels for Gragas. And they're not quite so thirsty that they need to be taking them all. So, Gragas is definitely taking control as a result.
Nien is waiting for he's recalling, but if the Wraith camp decides to respawn, he can pick it up real quick and have all 4 buffs on this map. Achievement unlocked. If he can get that, good for him. And I'm waiting. I'm waiting to see if one day achievements do get placed in, because I'm sure that's going to be one of them. High waiting for Cruiser. Does see him over the wall. Shifts on over. A little bit of damage. Missed shot, but that's okay. You still got the auto attacks to help you out here. You also got a shot backwards. Cruiser missing his mark. A lot of words flashing over the wall, ulting it while still in the brush. That is a lot of health gone. Elimination gonna get slammed by the hammer. Hammer backwards. High is ignited, but will it be enough? Ignite actually getting the double kill for
Really
Cruiser.
incredible combo, and that's another strength of Nunu is the absolute zero is just absolutely devastating, and they were able to push in on them. Nien is coming in from behind. They are very low, so Jace actually has to watch out here. Cruiser trying to take this turret, but he will be able to back off safely. But the Nunu ultimate and then Cruiser coming in, he saw that Elimination was already very low coming into that fight, and then was able to pick up the double kill. Really nice play. But Nien, I think he's going to be able to grab Cruiser. Is he going to be able to get out of it? He does get hit by the slow.
Slow, speed up, speed up. Can he finally
he's got
catches
him.
Underneath tower.
No, the hammer!
The hammer is back. Now he's just trying to bait Nien in to take a few more tower shots. Nien does get the kill, but this time he will actually be able to dive successfully, retreating back into the tower. Ezreal clearing the minion wave down bottom.
Nunu wants him, but I'm not sure that Nunu can win this fight.
I'm not so sure either. He doesn't
I think
quite have
Nien
the
has
damage.
this, actually.
This is a little bit of a turn. I don't think Lout was actually expecting this much damage. And the
is he
turtle
waiting?
stance, just to hurt a little bit more on top of that, you got the bear stance. And walking in front, just to block his path.
Oh no, the shield,
turtle
one more
stance
attack.
is back up. Will he be able to
Oh, he's
get
got
it?
it,
He's
the
got
stun.
it. Nien grabs that kill. Atlanta down, bottom goes down, and that is another ace for Orbit.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Nien just barely surviving. It looked like it originally when Loudamortis was running in that Loudamortis wouldn't have enough damage because Nunu really has no damage. You need your team to have damage, which is why it's kind of surprising to have the Maokai pick as well, because it really puts them low on damage as a team, even if they are very tanky. But, I don't know, it was just really cool. Nien, he was one attack away and got up the shield at the last second.
A level 1 turtle stance is still good. It still does stuff, especially in close quarter situations like that. Just because the skill's level 1 doesn't mean you don't use it. Now the tier 1 in bot lane going to be grabbed for Orbit right after that second ace of the game for them. And yet, even with all this low mana, is actually still being a champ, taking up all of these camps. Wards being picked up by Gragas. There is the Trinity.
And it's perfect timing for the next dragon. It will be up in just about a minute now. So they get the red buff, they can go back, get their items, heal up, and then go up and drop some wards and try and pressure it. Orb already making his way up there, so you can try and grab some buffs and make sure he keeps on vision of the area.
Yep. He also got the end. He is back. That's all he's got. He's just got Ninja Tabby and the Randuins, but really that's all he needs at this point. Gonna have a Phage on top of that for a little bit extra health, damage, and of course the slow is going to help out immensely. And not to mention stack up on top of the Phage that's already a part of Ezreal's kit within the Trinity Force. But you look over at Legion side, Cruiser, he's finished his Trinity Force also. You got some spell pen boots on Nunu. And finally, you get the Sheen finish there onto Atlanta on Maokai also. But as we talked about this before, there's not a whole lot of contributions here coming in from Atlanta.
Oh, that's sad.
It's true though.
Yeah, no,
true.
it is kind of true to an extent. He is very tanky, but he's just not quite the AD bruiser that they want him to be right now. The stun followed up by the Gragas barrel. There's the body slam as well. Loudamortis does go down. I think Dragon's actually 20 minutes. I thought it was 19, but I was slightly off. But they're going to be able to get another tower. The flash in from the end, though, coming into Cruiser, he gets the knockback, but High also has the Phage procs for the slow to try and chase him down, and they will be able to get off some nice damage if Gragas can join with him. But Gragas is still focused on the turret.
Atlanta will for the twist advance down to High just to keep him occupied. Cruiser does get the kill, but can he make it out of here? No, he will not. Third ace of the game for Orbit, and the creeps are still taking damage off of this tier 1 tower in top, and Orb, Elimination in the end will finish that one up. Dragon is back up. I think at this point, I think they're strong enough where they can just two-man this.
Oh, Nien can solo it at this point. Yeah, he's easily strong enough to solo it. But they have 2 towers down, so they've been aggressively pushing as well. That's a huge advantage. They're way ahead in gold. They have a much stronger mix of a team. So as long as they can kite them effectively and not allow High to die in these fights, which he seems to be pretty safe. He went down in the last one, but it was kind of a fake 2v2. Gragas was just kind of hanging back. Yep. But Gragas's barrels are really going to crush them. The attack speed slow in particular, that's something that I think it's undervalued on Summoner's Rift, but on Twisted Tree Line, you really see the value really clearly. And his Q, it actually gives an attack speed slow or debuff to your opponents, which is actually really significant. So that, along with the damage, allows Gragas to really control the fights. And then the fact that Ezreal is just such a safe pick, and he's already very farmed.
Atlanta actually using his ult to just clear the wave down there in bot, while Ludimortis and Cruiser are up here top lane, trying to get some push back on here, waiting to kill some time, waiting for the dragon buff to actually wear off on the two members of Orb that have it. Of course, they just could not wait. You couldn't wait 4 seconds to give it to Ezreal. You just couldn't. You just had to be so impatient in the end. Just had to be. Cruiser waiting in that bush too, but Ludimortis, he's trying to see if there's any opportunities to get the jump on someone. Heading into lane, Cruiser looking for a few shots, but high in retreat. Throwing off Mystic shots backwards, and Cruiser has no option but to change weapons to try and get some
they're
speed
trying
out.
to bait them in.
And look at this, though. Cruiser's already at half health, though. Atlanta is not here with them. You got the barrel. Cruiser's getting so low off this. Lout caught on his own. He cannot escape the slows. Ezreal ult will actually miss, but it doesn't matter. Double kill coming in for High. Goes over the wall.
Can he
Vision
get the triple?
is gone. Atlanta doesn't see him. He can't see him around the corner. Ace number 4 for Orbit. This is brutal.
Yeah, they're going to be able to get an inhibitor off of this. Really, strong fight. Kind of a weird interaction with Jace and Ezreal, looping all over the place. But, it's just so difficult for them to take down Ezreal. They don't have the means of engaging on him. Maokai can get the Twisted Advance, but it's still really tough. He's actually trying to target it. He doesn't realize the inhibitor's up, so he can't quite get it yet. I guess he's just kind of taunting him for a second.
Give it a second. Okay, now you can do it. Yeah,
I think they're going to be able to get the Nexus turret, though, and then they might be able to just force their way in for a win. It's going to be very close. High's in a really dangerous situation here.
The Nexus turret is down. High does get chunked out.
He missed the arcane shift.
Lemon Nation, though, tried to shift over, tried to just bust himself over the wall, but just could not clear the rest of the way.
That's actually the hammer. When you hit someone, it knocks them from where they started, so if they flash or anything, it instantly pulls them back to where they were.
I kind of want to go back just so we can get the instant replay.
So what happens, it's just a weird interaction with Jace's hammer. When you hit someone with the hammer, they go back to where they started, so if they flash middle of the animation, they go back to where they were. So what happens is he tries to body slam, but Cruiser was already in the animation for the hammer, so it immediately pulled him back and then just slammed him to the side step. Yeah, but even so, another Nexus turret down, and the Nexus is available for Orb on the next push.
Yeah, if they can just get their quick sneak on in, they can grab it. Or in this case, High, he can actually just go over here, shift over the wall, and take it out.
Yeah, so can Lemon Nation.
Or both.
It's close. Actually, I don't remember if Gragas can body slam over that wall. I think he can. But, he should be able to get over there. Udir's flash is up. They all three could just decide to backdoor it if they want to.
Just right here. Everyone go on in. Backdoor to Nexus. No problem. GG, no re. We may very well see it happen, but Nian's just happy getting the wave pushed on up. He's going to be looking to take some of the buffs also. High with the GA. He's going to be coming back. If he dies, he might as well just suicide on in. He also get the death cap on Lemon Nation. He's also looking for the Athenians, but this game may very well end before he has the money to finish it, so we will see in just a moment. Things going down up here on the top lane. Atlanta's pushing out. Nian is waiting in the bush. We may just get High to come on over here, try and bait something out, and there's the bear stance coming on.
Oh, Ezreal's going over, though. He's eyeing it. Gragas is here as well.
Run interferes. Can you do it?
Oh, Jace, I think he has kind of an understanding that's what they're trying to do. So he was kind of going back and forth.
This is not his first rodeo here. I mean, he's got an idea of what might be going down. But there is still, though, an Udyr pushing you up in the top lane. You may be trying to spread your defenses.
Question is, can they kill him fast enough if Orb just decides to rush the Nexus?
That is a good question. That is a very good question. Well, like I mentioned before, though, that is an Ezreal with the Guardian Angel. Twisted Advance down on Elimination. That is the barrel to keep everyone away. You got Nunu. Ludimortis cannot get back to spawn to regen quick enough, and High ignoring the fight for just a moment, then he realized, wait, we can just kill him straight out here and then just go for the guaranteed win. Cleanse down onto High. Atlanta, can he make it back to Fountain? No, he will not. Double kill. Ace number 5. The Nexus is open and naked, and this is gonna be it. High L9 and Nian should be able to take this out pretty easy. And that is going to be it. The slow death.
Yeah, so game number 1 does go to Orbit over Legion. They pick up the Twisted Tree Line win. So they have 1 point in the series so far, playing to 3 points total. They will have the next match. It is going to be Dominion, and then followed up by Proving Grounds. But really nice play. Just a really nice team by Orbit. the first pick went for Jace for Legion. That was a really strong pick, but they couldn't quite follow up with the rest of their team. And even though Cruiser, he started off to a great start. He finished the game 8-6, but he started off like 5-0 or something like that. Even with a great start, they couldn't pull it through. Maokai, couldn't quite get in the game. He was basically dead weight for most of the game, and Orb was just able to slowly pull ahead.
Yeah, well, if anyone out there is thinking about playing AG Maokai, hopefully that will be enough to dissuade you.
There's some strengths to it. I understand some of the strengths.
Yeah.
It's you still get the Maokai in the game. He's beefy. You want that tanky kind of champion. Just didn't quite work out the way he thought it would. He couldn't get the farm is the issue, and you need to farm.
A for effort for Atlanta. Yeah. We will be back in just a little bit. Game number 2 in the LoLympics coming at you in just a second. Legion and Orbit will be fighting it out in Dominion on the Crystal Scar. We'll be back in just a little bit, so do please stay tuned.